Namaste, friends. It's very nice to see you all. I'm Harika here from Quantum Life University, and we have Dr. Preeti and Ganesh ji over here today with us for this Inner Transformation series. First of all, we would like to express our gratitude to our teachers, Brahmashi Chakravarti Dr. Newton Kondaviti and Brahma Vidvarishta Dr. Lakshmi Newton. Thanks to them that we are able to meet each other and we are having this episode today.
Uh,
Welcome, Dr. Preeti and Ganesh.
Thank
Thank
you so much,
you. Thank you,
Harika.
Harika.
Thank you for giving us this beautiful opportunity.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that we are visible. Yeah, wonderful.
So, I will give a short intro about both of you so that people can know who you are a little bit. Of course, you will share a lot more.
Yes.
So, Dr. Preeti is has been a consulting homeopathic physician for over 20 years and a transformation for over 11 years. She currently serves as one of the founding members and director at the AHA movement. Through her work, she has touched thousands of lives and has successfully conducted over 25 workshops in alternative healing therapies. And Ganesh ji is a serial entrepreneur who has founded several successful enterprises over the last 20 years. Ganesh ji is passionate about teaching and education. He has visited over 450 universities and over 800 high schools around the world. He owes his success to meditation practices, which he started in 2006. And they both are here to share their transformational journey through QLU. So, Ganesh ji, I would like to ask you first, when did you first get to know about QLU and Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi? Both of you, was it together? Was it separately before you met?
Yeah, maybe I will answer that question. Actually, I was a very stubborn husband and I never listened to my wife, always listening 3 or 4 years late. So when we got married in 2003 January, Preeti was a very calm, relaxed, composed individual, and I was this angry, brash individual. And she asked me to meditate, and it took me 3.5 years to listen to her. And I first meditated only in June 2006. Similarly, when it came to QLU, Preeti met Dr. Newton in 2009. And when she said that she is going for past life regression, I had a heart attack. I was an engineer and I was so worried. I said, isn't there enough to worry about in this present life? You want to go in the past life? And I got so scared of Dr. Newton. For 4 years, I never even asked her a question about Dr. Newton or about past life regression. And it was directly in 2013. So wife met in 2009, husband meets in 2013. So that is how the first introductions happened. And I did my first workshop with Dr. Newton was inner child healing, 6-day residential workshop. And yeah,
After the 2-day past life.
yes, yeah,
So first he did the 2-day past life regression and then the inner child healing.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Dr. Preeti was the first person who has come here, connected you to QLU, and we
Yeah.
are so glad you did that.
So Dr. Newton's
Dr.
after
Preeti, would
doing some
yeah.
sorry, you were asking something.
Yes, please share. Please share your experience and
And
how you have come to meet the.
To add to Ganesh's story, I remember, of course, I was completely in love with Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi when I met them in 2009. I did the 2 day workshop, followed by the 6 day workshop with just a single day gap, which was in Hyderabad in 2009. And
Mm.
in 2011, I think I conducted some 2 day workshop. And we spoke to
Mm.
Sir before that. We said that, Sir, at that time we were not trainers for the uh, foundation. So we asked Sir, Sir, can we use some of the material from the manual? So he said, sure, go. This, what were the words that he said?
Copyright is the right to.
Copyright is right to copy. And I remember telling him, Ganesh, that. And I think those were the first words that touched Ganesh. Ganesh said, oh my God, this master is something different. Where somebody who says that copyright is right to copy. So I think that was one of the things, his heart opened there. And then eventually he came.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, amazing.
Yeah.
So, what was your first experience in? I guess you have also attended the 2 day PLR workshop first. So, what made you feel connected and to complete all the courses afterwards?
Well,
Yes.
we both not just completed all the courses, we are repeaters. We are also slow learners. So we did everything twice. And
Oh,
we,
you got
we
a double degree then.
Yeah, we have
yeah,
double degrees.
double degree. And after that first encounter with Dr. Newton, it was really, I was not so much concerned about what the topic was. It was about being in his presence.
Mm.
What really happened for me was I aspired to be like him. After that, it was, until then I had two people who inspired me in my life. One was Jagjit Singh and the other was Steve Jobs. And the third one became
Wow,
Dr. Newton Kondavati. And all
amazing.
I wanted was to be in his presence. And we were very fortunate that, I just felt the humility and the authenticity. Uh, Clearly uh, I knew from a early stage that I have a ego. Sometimes the ego gets very big, and I actually, it was so important. Every time I got a opportunity to chop my ego and to be in the presence of the masters, it was, and this master was achieving so much, and it was such an amazing master, but he was so humble and so authentic and so natural, so childlike, that all I wanted was, I didn't know what the topic of the workshop was. I just wanted to spend 2 days, 6 days, 5 days, whatever time we could get with Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi. And we were very fortunate that we got time to see them during a workshop and also outside the workshop quite a bit.
Mm.
And
Wow.
every minute you can learn so much, and every minute. And I think it has been a journey in, very selfishly, it has been a journey in personal evolution, not because of what Dr. Newton or Dr. Lakshmi said, but more because of who they are being. And one of the things that became evident is, doesn't matter what we say, but who we are being is what is important. There are many spiritual masters saying many things, but who are they
Right.
being in that moment? How are they? And Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi are not actually, in my experience, and Preeti can share to her experience, they are not masters who have any special love for one or two people. They are like a flower whose fragrance
Yeah.
is equally available. Whether you know them or you don't know them, whether you have attended a workshop, you are not attended a workshop, whether you are, whatever you are, done some good things or bad things, it doesn't matter. There is no judgment, no criticism, only loving compassion. Doesn't matter who they meet. Sometimes we have seen them meet complete strangers who don't know them at all, and they will meet them with so much humility. There is nothing. And so these are really living legends. These are Buddha, and in the actual physical space. And we have not seen Buddha, but if this is what it is, then we are really these masters have touched us beyond imagination, and our gratitude that you allow us to share what we have experienced today, Harika.
I feel so honored, Ganeshi, to hear all these wonderful words from both of you. It is a privilege to know this. And to all the viewers, of course, I'm sure they are enjoying it very much. And we would like to know more about your experiences with the masters and your inner transformation. What was your favorite? What has been your favorite workshop or training program of all?
So I think I'll share. I was sharing my first experience with Dr. Newton, so I think continue sharing from that. In 2006, actually, I went to a therapist here, Dr. Trupti Jain, for a session. And my session was very insightful, and I knew that, it really kind of gave me a lot of insight. And she told me that if you ever plan to become a therapist, don't go anywhere else, straight go to Dr. Newton. So
Wow.
that name had stuck in my mind. I was not ready at that point in time. I said, okay, I'll keep that in mind. And 2009, I knew that I was ready. So I just looked up online. I said, when is their next workshop happening? So the training workshop was in December, and the 2-day workshop was just happening before that in Hyderabad. I just saw their pictures and I knew, yes, there is something. I have to just attend this one in December. So for 10 days, I was in Hyderabad attending the 2-day workshop and straight the 6-day workshop after that. That 6-day workshop was absolutely magical, Harika. What happened was, it was, I think, about 46 of us who were attending that workshop. And that time, we used to all stay a little spread out. 2 of the rooms that were close by. So 4 of us at the end of the workshop used to discuss what happened, what was the session. So we were not knowing a lot of the sessions, the experiences that a lot of other people were having, of course, if they were not sharing it with everybody. But just amongst the 4 of us, what was amazing that I could see by the end of the workshop was that the past lives that we had seen, some of the ones that we discovered, if I saw that I was like feeling like a perpetrator, it was a victim life for me. I saw that the perpetrator was here, and the perpetrator also saw the life. So between the 4 of us, actually,
Wow.
there were 4 such lives where we had seen that the victim was here and the perpetrator also was here. Out of these 4, 3 of the perpetrators also saw the same life and actually owned up and came and said, I'm sorry. So for me, I still get goosebumps as I talk about it, because we had heard that if you're meant to be somewhere, you will be. But this was actually, it was like from the planes I was seeing, almost like people come together from the different places, and we are able to really clear so much of the karmic baggage just by seeing that past life, learning the lesson, and actually saying I'm sorry. So a lot of it is going to be just nullified with that understanding, and that was really magical for me. So
It's
that,
amazing.
yeah, so that workshop, obviously stands out for me so much because that was the first experience and a very magical one. Ganesh, you want to share?
Yeah, actually, for me, I think as I was thinking about today, there are so many insights and lessons. And every workshop, you said, which is your favorite workshop, Harika? The favorite one is always the last one that I have done. meaning you are the last one. That is the favorite one. And actually, what I learned from Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi was comparison itself is almost like violence. Comparison is so for me, every minute spent, whether in a workshop or outside a workshop with them, has been valuable. There are some key. Instead of saying what were my favorite moments, I can say that you know. I can share some insights that I got from the workshops, and
Yeah.
that is more useful for some of our viewers as well. On what is
Yeah.
it that I was able to learn from the time spent doing these workshops, attending these workshops, and then eventually also doing it, because we were also very fortunate, Preeti and myself, that Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi chose us to deliver some of these 2-day workshops also. Uh, the first lesson I learned was I came in swaying from one side to the other, feeling very happy and feeling very sad, wanting to be only doing spirituality and not doing anything else. The middle path, the first lesson was middle path with the teachers, and the middle path between work and you know spirituality, with everything. I always felt like I swayed. I got too involved in one thing, and that balance and that perspective was very important. The second big lesson was there is no separation between physicality and spirituality. There is not like, this is somebody's business, spirituality, and this is someone else's business, is the physical world. It's actually
Yes.
all of us are spiritual beings having a physical experience, as sir and ma'am say. And so that was very, very important lesson I learned. And it, I'm a slow learner. So everything I took many years to learn. Very, very fell down, created some tantrums, all kinds of issues I've had. And throughout, sir and ma'am were so compassionate. And they just showed the way, and in Buddha's word, we said, chareveti, keep walking. That was the secret. Another lesson was everything is a mirror. With sir and ma'am, one of the biggest teachings was, if nobody else can make me angry, it is what is inside me. I'm like, if I'm an orange, you squeeze, I will get orange juice. You cannot get mango juice by squeezing an orange. So if I am feeling angry, Harika cannot make me angry. Doesn't matter whichever choicest abuse she gives, I cannot. It's not what Harika says. It's what I am feeling. So I think that was a very powerful lesson, that everything is a mirror. That we really learn, and I learned to take more responsibility of what I was feeling, rather than pushing that responsibility on someone else, etc. Initially, I would, even if I did it, I was quick to become aware of that, and I think that was another very important lesson. I was so scared of past life regression. I said, why I want to go in past life and all? I said, Preeti, I mean, let us work with our present life. So eventually, the story is such that what you resist persists. I
Yeah.
went from resisting past life for 4 years to becoming, sir made me president of PLR conference, past life regression conference.
That's
And
fantastic.
and then I understood that we are not going to the past life to just watch a movie and have fun. We
Yeah.
are going to the past life because reliving is relieving. This is what I grasped from sir and ma'am, that reliving is relieving. If you want relief from a certain pain, we first go and access what the origin. So all the work that sir and ma'am are doing are called root cause therapies, because we are going back, not because we want to enjoy and complain about our parents and that past life criminal who hurt me, or where I, but because when we relive, we also relieve. And so that was the other big lesson. Now, Harika, we need one full episode series of 20 episodes if I have to share. So I will stop now. Episode 1 will get over. I have to give you a chance to ask question, and also Preeti to say something. I have others, but I can, we can wait for that.
Profound insights, Ganesh ji. So happy to hear that. And this is so amazing, especially when you said that spirituality is not different from the physicality, daily life. It is so important. So many of my spiritual friends, I've heard from them saying, "Oh, that is spirituality. It doesn't work here." And I was wondering, what is this then? So it's an amazing insight and lesson that you have shared, and I'm sure it will be very helpful to many. So, yeah, Dr. Preeti, please share some of your experiences from other programs that you have attended or in your journey, in your spiritual journey.
To answer your question, which you asked initially, which is the favorite,
Ah,
when
yes.
I talk about any workshop, okay, that workshop becomes my favorite because I see that what that one workshop did, no other workshop could have done. So on
Correct.
one side, we see, of course, it's Sir Ma'am's presence that really heals. With every workshop, they are actually just holding the space for each of us, creating that space which is of such unconditional love that the most painful of the experiences can really open up there in that presence, and we can really heal ourselves. But talking about each of the workshops, each workshop has its own very unique role. When I spoke about past life, what a past life can do, when it gives you a perspective from a soul level, what's your soul journey, and how you are kind of doing, following certain patterns. I think no other workshop can really do that. So it is such an important wisdom, of knowing our own spiritual journey. It is such a crucial workshop for that. At the same time, when I talk about inner child, where like when I first went for inner child healing, I'll be honest, I thought I did not have any inner child wounds. I used to work a lot with kids. I used to More than 50% of my practice in homeopathy was kids. So
Ah,
I thought I'll be able to understand kids better, and if there is anything, I'll be able to heal that, right? So I went to inner child really, to okay, see what is it like. Okay. And but when I went there, I realized that there was so much pain which I was not aware of. It was because my parents had lost two kids before me, which
ah,
obviously, because in the energy that they had, the pain that they were having, somewhere that would have affected me. Obviously, I was unaware of that. So a lot of the stuff that happens when we are in the womb, when we are so young, when we are an infant, a toddler, obviously we cannot know it. And our love towards our parents doesn't let us actually even think that there was anything wrong with our childhood. So, but going there within the first 3-4 hours, all of us, I remember in that workshop, we were 23 people. All of us could see, yes, I'm sure there are wounds that each of us have. And it was such a beautiful workshop, really, in the inner child, where we are going into the depths of our own life in this life, and whatever unmet needs would be there because of which there are wounds. When we are taking responsibility for that, when we are nurturing that inner child, the creativity, the wonderment that can come out, we can just start being more natural. That is a beautiful workshop. And again, I think that's one workshop which is irreplaceable. Then after that, I would say rebirthing. I did the rebirthing then. And again,
yes.
that's one such a powerful workshop, because a lot of the times we as humans have this tendency to get stuck in the mind, tendency to actually, we start loving our stories as well. and we can't get out of the stories. So the breath is such a beautiful technique, such a beautiful master. You have to just kind of, no stories are required, it just kind of takes you right there. So again, that's one of the works that is so beautiful. And I think for all the people who are particularly more, more left brain, right? And I think a lot of us are, we are more thinking beings. We have, in today's times, we become such thinking beings. So the breath work really is a beautiful tool as well.
Yeah.
Of course, all the other workshops, the family constellation, again, you know, we like Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, they advise that you first do the inner child and then you do the family constellation. And I
Right.
think the wisdom that family constellation brings, after you heal your individual self, and then when you really connect to yourself in the collective, you see yourself as a part of the collective, and then you're able to also see the bigger story and just accepting, there are so many things that happen in each families, and seeing how that could be impacting you, and just nothing else to do but just accept what happened. It is very simply said, but it's a very powerful work. So I remember once Dr. Newton saying that all of these therapies actually put together, and of course the
Mm.
last being the life between life regression, which helps us to really understand also our soul plan. So all of these therapies together is really covering the entire piece, right? So
Yeah.
I would not be able to say that which is a better one. Each one has its own right timing, and I think we just need to really experience this beautiful transformation that each of these workshops bring.
Wow. Beautiful. So you have attended all these programs one after the other, and you just felt it intuitively.
Yes, intuitively. Like
Right.
Ganesh said,
Okay.
I've attended all the programs twice.
Wow. So what
Yeah.
is the reason for you to think of attending it the second time?
So I think the first breath mastery, when I attended the first time, I after attending it, I knew that there was some birthing experience. I was having more transpersonal experiences, and the birth trauma that kind of gets released with that. I knew that there was something there which I needed to do again. So when I went for the second time, I think that is something that happened. The second workshop that I repeated again was inner child healing workshop, and that is something I think Ganesh was advised by ma'am
Mm.
to attend that the second time, and she said, "Why don't you also then come along?" But when I actually attended that, I realized that when we attend for the first time, our unconscious, which we all know is about 95%, there are certain layers that get peeled, but there is so much more deeper work that happens. And in the second time that we go, actually we realize that there is still more probably, and we are able
Mm.
to kind of the first time we are also taking everything like a student, understanding the concepts. The second time we are really not worried about that. We've understood the concepts, we are just able to relax further deeper into that and allow stuff to come up even more.
Yeah,
I think,
definitely.
Harika, one of the very important reasons for going back is always just being in the presence of the teachers, because that
Yeah.
itself is very impactful and it alters and it actually changes many aspects of our life. I think one of the secrets of this work is most people think that when you do an inner child healing workshop or family constellation, that it will impact a particular area of our life, but all the work impacts all the areas of our lives. I have to say that in 2013 I was on a spiritual quest, and I was kind of retiring and wanting to not be involved with other work, etc. I just wanted to become a meditator and be on that path. And
Hmm.
Sir taught the importance of the middle path. And since the time that I've met Sir, actually, uh, on the growth in my professional life was multiple times more than the previous 16 years together, which means
Wow.
that in the next 7 years, I did four times more, as in four times more progress was made than in 16 years. So,
Wow.
if you look at this path, there are a lot
Hmm.
of surprises for you. The
Wow.
divine doesn't give everything as planning. Oh, inner child, so now you will feel good about your childhood. Now this past life, it actually, and lot of inner work brings outer abundance. That is something that I discovered, and it continues to flow because when you have the grace of the masters, and when you are constantly ready to look at what are the areas that you need to work on. The more I look at myself, and I mean, I am work in progress, and I think that is very important to
All of us
acknowledge
are. Yeah.
that we are, there was this whole idea I had about spirituality. These spiritual people, speak very softly, and they have to sit in a very perfect position. And, I had this whole idea, and my concept of spirituality changed when I was with this new age master in Dr. Newton, because really I went for spirituality, and then everything is growing in my companies are growing by 200% and 400. Prosperity is increasing every day.
Yeah.
More abundance is flowing in my life. I said, but I didn't go for that. I went for spirituality. Why I'm not able to meditate now? So the fact is that we really need to be. It opens us up to receive whatever there is for us to receive. I also want to share, Dr. Newton never acted or is like a guru. He is a
Hmm.
friend. He always encouraged. What I found in a lot of spiritual settings was advocacy of one type of exercise or one type of learning. But with
Hmm.
Dr. Newton, what I found was he said, drink from all the wells, from all the lakes. You go, and he introduced us to so many masters. And he said, you are your own guru. Your breath is your master. And you will find your own path, Ganesh, and it is unique. Doesn't have to be the same as someone else, who is coming across as. It's okay. I bring my own energy. Preeti brings her own energy. Harika brings her own energy. We all have our own uniqueness. Spirituality doesn't mean become like someone else. And those
Right.
reassuring words of Dr. Newton are very, very powerful because they very clearly said, you are your own guru. They introduced us to so many other masters, from Dr. Bruce Lipton to Dr. Joe Dispenza to Dr. Wayne Dyer to many, many masters, many, many masters. They encouraged us to pursue, to explore, to study the subject of soul science. So I think that is very unique because this is not about, uh, you know, even though we are all passionate about QLU, we are
Hmm.
working towards building QLU. Sir and ma'am's mission is much greater than building a university. They are not attached to building QLU alone. They want the higher consciousness on the planet. QLU is a means to an end, not an end in itself, from what I learned from them. They want to raise the consciousness of the planet Earth and of all of us. And so, for a lot of us, when we are supporting QLU, we are involved with QLU, we are really, this is not the end. This, this,
Hmm.
uh, this is actually the center from where we can raise the overall consciousness. So that was one, and I told you you can have 20 episodes if you want, but But at this moment, I will stop. I have some more, but a little later after your next question.
Yeah, we are so loving your insights, Ganeshji and Preeti. The way you both have shared, it's so amazing. We just want to keep hearing you. Please continue.
You want to share something?
And I want to ask you about your experience at QLU campus. Now that Ganeshji has mentioned it, I want to know I want to hear, I want you to share about QLU to all the people, all the viewers. How is it and how do you like it? How do you feel about it? Everything about it.
Yeah. I want to relive one experience many years back. Um, uh, Dr. Newton took us with him to some villages in
Mm.
close to QLU campus. We went to some few villages.
Yeah, his heart is always in the villages.
Yes. And, um, just the innocence and I was so touched by the innocence. I think I realized when I went to those villages that there is so much reform and so much cleaning up that is needed for for me personally, but also for many of us living in big cities, because there is a certain simplicity, a certain innocence, a certain, they have so much, but they will give so much. There is a certain heart in the villages. And I think QLU really embodies the spirit of rural India. QLU embodies giving. QLU embodies Nishkam Karma Yoga. You are doing selfless service. Many people work 14 hours, 16 hours at QLU and with a smile, and not because at the end of the day they will get certificate of excellence. Normally what happens in all the city culture, corporate culture, इसमें मेरा क्या, मुझे क्या, what is in it for me, in every aspect. I think that's a very beautiful part of what QLU is. I think the team there, it is not just sir and ma'am that are transforming lives, by who the entire team is being, from Loknath and Bhanu to Amar and Pavan and Harika, yourself, and Madam. There are so many other Sridevi ma'am, Rajashekhar, but there is a certain simplicity, and they kind of move on. There is no. So I think a university or a campus is not built by infrastructure or by buildings. It is not about how tall is the building, how whether we have this pyramid or that, doesn't matter. Finally, it is about the people. It starts with Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, and then it is the entire team at QLU. These are beautiful souls. They are already all highly evolved souls, all of you. And what you are doing is collectively, you are pulling all of us up with you. So we are actually, you are interviewing us. We should be interviewing you, Harika, because you are the embodiment of Nishkama Karma Yoga, and you are really all of you collectively make QLU. Doesn't matter how who gets mentioned what, and the beauty is the ones who are cooking inside and the ones who are working, getting rations now. Moparna and Tanmoy have reached there. From that energy will draw the world to it. QLU is in the process of becoming a beacon of light on the planet Earth. So I think nothing more much to say, about QLU. It's already energetically, it is already talking. and we are very fortunate that we are able to participate in some way with activities, and of course the beautiful campus as well.
I think Ganesh
Yeah.
said a lot
So
in this.
amazing.
I would just like to say in one word, heaven on earth. That
Yeah.
is what QLU is. And Ganesh was talking about, people in the big city, and we do experience that a lot of the times in the big cities when people don't have much time, whoever in the last 2 years, you know we have kind of said, no, you must go and experience this workshop. They have, like Ganesh said, that the building is just being made. It is not the building that matters. They have just come back saying, oh my god, that's a completely different energy. Thank you so much for really telling us to go there.
Hmm.
So that is what I would just like to say. It's beautiful. Thank you.
So amazingly, you both have shared. Thanks a ton.
Yeah.
So, some of the viewers can also ask questions if you are interested um, to know something, some experiences. I'm sure Ganeshji and Preeti would be happy to share, answer your questions. And meanwhile, I would also like to know what else you have written, Ganeshji, your insights. They are so interesting.
I will share after Dr. Preeti because I always follow her. It's very beautiful to follow Dr. Preeti. You know, first originally I
So,
told her you become enlightened and then you take me with you behind. I don't want to do all this meditation and all. Once you are enlightened, then scheme 1 plus 1. Then I can go with you behind. But then I realize I have to do my own work. So first we will listen to Dr. Preeti, and then
Yeah. So
yeah.
I want to share
definitely, yes,
some of the insight
yeah,
uniqueness that I wanted to share. So as Ganesh said that he was drawn
yes,
to me
Dr.
because I was
Preeti.
this calm person, and that was as a
Mm,
result of a lot of the meditation that yes I was doing before also. But what
mm,
I realized, the uniqueness of the work with Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi is how to really bring that wisdom into your daily life.
Hmm.
A lot of the time
mm,
we see spirituality as separate. A lot of the times, when we want to meditate, and we may make life miserable sometimes for the family because we want our quietness and we don't want us to be disturbed, and the
mm,
relationships may not really change. So the application of that spiritual understanding, how that comes onto the daily life, onto the relationships, that wisdom is something that is really there with QLU, with the work that Sir Ma'am are doing. Really understanding the relationships as mirrors. So, I just spoke about the 6-day workshops, but the beautiful 2-day workshops that Sir Ma'am have designed.
mm.
Here, I'd like to mention the radiant relationships, where they bring the wisdom of the Essene mirrors, where
Right, yes,
in life everything that's happening is a mirror. Whether you're
yeah,
having a relationship, whether something is working, not working, and how to really understand that and work with that is something very beautiful. I
yeah,
realized, yeah, I realized before inner child, I did have a lot of spiritual bypass. I was just living so that quickly we have to uh, just be here for whatever number of years that you have to be, and meditate and quickly go and become one with God. So that is what my aim was. I didn't want to really be here and do much, but that pain that they really, as I mentioned, that they really create this space, and you can then see the pain that also you're carrying and heal that pain. That is extremely powerful. So
yes,
that
Dr. Preeti. Yeah, that is amazing that you have mentioned about spiritual bypassing. Can you please share what spiritual bypassing is? Because it's a very beautiful concept that you have brought up. And I feel that many of our viewers would be helped if you can just share a little bit more about the topic.
Yeah, so when we get into the meditation and we start recognizing, I remember, like Buddha's words are there, that everything is here going to change, everything is going to go away, right? So you start looking for the permanent. You say that, okay, this is impermanent, and yes, you start looking for the permanent, and you start meditating. So you start seeing yourself, connecting yourself more as a soul. You start
Hmm.
seeing, so there are two perspectives, I would say. So you start just trying to see everything from this perspective, and you're not really bringing yourself here and seeing, okay, what is this really teaching me now? So I was also doing that. That's what I would say is the spiritual bypass, where we are just trying to quickly, I was just trying to quickly go and merge. The time, I'm not interested in being here. It's almost like, don't keep me here, just let me quickly go there. I don't need to be here. But then really doing the work with Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, where you realize that it's you who have chosen to come here. And why did you come here? So there is a purpose, there is a learning for you that is here. So you need to not only, yes, of course, we are all light beings, but not only do you need to see that light, but you need to shine that light here. And you need to see really what a mess you've created here. You need to clear up that mess. Like when QLU's tagline, where we say we create our reality. When we throw
Yeah.
light on this, and if we see some mess, yes, we have been unconscious creators, and we need to clean up whatever is there. So that
Yes.
is a beautiful, that process has been extremely, has been really guided by Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi.
Wow,
Yep.
that was really amazing.
I think the other important aspect that was very evident, and you know, is that in a whether we are, it doesn't matter what kind of organization we are in, uh, whether we are in a corporation working in a big city or we are in a spiritual organization, if we could actually have the same mess uh, in a spiritual setup as well, because really it's who we are being that really matters, and
Hmm.
I think somewhere there is this very fine balance on giving and receiving. And sometimes spirituality can appear to be a very selfish exercise, that it is about my
Hmm.
evolution and I have to reach somewhere, and my meditation and my time with myself, etc. But it is not about just that. It is, sir and ma'am have taught us so clearly that it's about giving. And all the great masters have actually come back lifetime after lifetime to give back, so that out of compassion, and so that sharing is so important. And also being unnatural is not spiritual, is something that I feel, that just because there is a certain perception about what a spiritual being looks, all of us are spiritual and physical at the same time. And being unnatural is definitely not part of that piece. I noticed, Harika, there was a question about one of the workshops by Sumant Varma ji. um,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I will I thought I will briefly share, because I know that you wanted us to share about experiences from each workshop, so maybe
Yes.
that
Yes.
helps. But breath mastery really is about, like Dr. Preeti said, it's very impactful for the very left brain oriented, very logical reasoning people. People like me, I'm an engineer by education, always finding reason, logic, why should we do this, how, you tell that fellow to do past life regression, he will take 4 years like me. It doesn't make sense. But you tell him you have to go and breathe. He said, okay, anyways, I'm breathing. I will go and breathe there also. So breath mastery is a very simple technique. It is all of these techniques actually are about releasing certain pain that we carry, certain traumas that we carry, and uh, a lot of what gets released or what gets impacted through breath mastery workshop is something that we are not able to access. It is in the unconscious and we are not able to access consciously. Now, when it is in the unconscious, it's not just in the cerebellum or the limbic brain, it is also in our cells. We carry
Yeah.
cellular memory also. And through breath mastery, we are actually releasing. So when you see, this is a workshop where a lot of release happens through the body. And we, from the birth period, from the time that we are being born, and that whole process. So a lot of what happens in the breath mastery workshop, it's also called rebirthing breath work. And Dr. Newton actually has done it with a great master himself, Leonard Orr. And essentially, it is about all the traumas that we carry through that period when we are coming out of the birth canal and into the physical world from the mother's womb. So we release a lot of that, and a lot of it is stored in our physical body. So you can actually, Sumanji, that much I can leave you with, because there is a lot to say. There is a 2-day breath mastery workshop and a 6-day. Dr. Preeti will
2 days sacred
2 days
breath.
sacred breath.
So the understanding is that our breath has the imprints of every experience that we have had as a right from the time that we are conceived till now. So all those imprints are there, and just by breathing in a particular way, we are really able to release a lot of that. And Dr. Newton has really brought a beautiful element to that workshop. We are basically made of the 5 elements in this physical body. So the breath mastery workshop, which is the 6-day residential workshop, they work with all the 5 elements. So we are really breathing in the water. We are going into the swimming pool, breathing in the water, which brings up a lot of our womb memories. We are also going into the sand and breathing into that, which releases different kind of stuff. So it's a very deeply cleansing process. And as I mentioned before, that there is no mind that is really involved. We don't need to see everything that we may be carrying that we need to release. Because sometimes when we are doing a past life regression, because we are not very deeply in trance, sometimes also what happens is our logical mind is coming and saying, but what if I'm imagining? So a lot of people are really not able to go into it, because they are also doubting themselves. They're not trusting their experience. So breath really just brings it up. If you just breathe and you just trust the breath, that just releases what all that you don't need to carry. So that's a very, very powerful work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one more question asked by the same person. So can you please
Can I have
answer that?
one more? Practice ourselves after 6 days or need a therapist? Thank you.
So ideally, Dr. Newton suggests that we should have 10 sessions. So in the 6-day workshop, we are having approximately 6 sessions. So we are practicing on each other. And after that, usually what happens is that if we therapists are in the same city, we help each other so that we can complete our 10 sessions, and then we can start practicing by ourselves.
Otherwise, you can look for a therapist. It's better to have some guidance in the initial stages, and then we can do it
Yeah.
independently. Yeah.
True.
Yes,
So,
Harika.
Dr. Preeti, you also give workshops and individual sessions, right?
Yes.
Yes, with all these healing modalities.
Yeah.
So, can you please share some of the transformation experiences of your clients and your workshop participants, which you really felt was so profound? One of them, of course, there would be many.
So I think one of the, I mean, I've had many, and I think a lot of people have had such beautiful transformations with the inner child, the breath mastery. So when I actually practice in the clinic, of course, the therapy is very integrated. They may go to a inner child, and then a memory from the childhood, and then they can go to a past life. So I'd like to share one of the persons who was suffering from a neurological problem, who had come
Mm.
recently, and she used to develop this problem with the vision that she could not really see. And there was a stressful situation. I mean, she, when she spoke about her journey, her life journey, she said it's been very smooth, there is nothing at all that I'm stressed about. I don't know why 2 years back this just came. And so she had called Dr. Newton, and Dr. Newton said, "Why don't you go and visit Dr. Preeti?" So she had just come, and right in the first session, she went to her childhood memory. She saw that her, so there's a little stressful event that had happened in her life, because of which she had to lie to her husband for a short time.
Okay.
So she was not able to say no to her brother for something she felt she wanted to do, and she thought her husband would get angry if she was doing that, because her husband wanted her to do something else. So she hid it from the husband, and I think that's the period that she developed this autoimmune problem, which was a neurological problem, and her vision started getting blurred. So what happened was that when she went through the session, she saw that she went to a childhood memory where her brother was being beaten up. He was being beaten up by the father very badly, and this was because he had failed in his exam and he had hid it from the father. So the son did not show the paper, did not show the result, and the father was really beating him up very badly. Then she went to another experience of her childhood, where she saw that her mother was actually left alone in a room. So the father was beating up the mother, and that the mother, then she later mentioned during the thing that the mother was going through a little psychiatric disorder during a period of her life. So at that time she used to really behave very difficult, so the father actually had thrashed her and had kept her locked in one room for some time also. So these two visions came to her, and the healing process was obviously done. And before that, she had just seen also one recent memory where she's feeling like she's trying to listen to her husband, and then the sister is saying, "How can you not listen to the brother?" So this confusion was there. So when she came out of the session, after the session, where we understood that how these, the memories from the childhood left an impact on her, that if you say a lie, you're going to be beaten up so badly. Where she saw, just she witnessed her brother being beaten up. She actually was never beaten up, but that memory that if you say a lie, you're going to be beaten up. Then she saw that how the husband is actually beating up the wife. So the husbands are like that. So if they can beat you up for whatever, right? So
Mm.
she realized that how she had not even realized. She said, "Oh my God, I've had a love marriage, and my husband has actually not been like that. So if I had told him, it was not really, it was not going to be so bad." She realized now. But obviously, in her mind's eye, this whole vision of that, what she was carrying from childhood, how that was playing, which she was not even aware of, that happened. Now, so this was her first session, and I think after she went back, she came again after a month. And after 1 month, she said, "By the way, doctor, I even forgot to tell you that after I went from the session, I realized that my vision had come back to normal." So that was
Wow.
the beautiful transformations that that whole, when especially it's a physical illness, and you see how it is so deeply connected with our unconscious, and actually you see something change so drastically after the session also. That's a very fulfilling experience.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Preeti. It it really helps us. understand how our past is really connected with the present and how we can heal it. There is a possibility for all of us to heal it by just reliving and reliving, like Ganesh ji has reminded us all earlier today. So it's beautiful. Thank you so much. So you have mentioned about inner child, PLR, breath mastery, family constellation. Can you also share any of your experience, any of you from LBL, Life Between Lives program?
So I think Life Between Life program is again one of it's such a beautiful work, because to really be able to see your life from that level, from for us to go into the LBL states and actually realize that we are planning our life, where all the soul stations that we go through, right? And when we go, we actually see that, oh, I'm choosing this mother because this is what she's going to teach me. A lot of the times when we are here, we are saying, oh, my mother didn't do this, or we are kind of blaming everybody. But there, even when you see that, even the most difficult situations, the most difficult relationships is something that we are actually choosing, and it's happening out of so much love. So that is something that is really an eye opener, to really connect to those states. And one of the things that is so beautiful about the masters there, where everything learning is really through fun. So when we go
Mm.
there, we when we live a past life, we probably have had a traumatic lifetime, and we are going and we are carrying that pain. But when we are going there, going to our soul groups, there is so much fun that is there.
Mm.
All the teaching that our spirit guides, our masters really are doing there, the way that we are interacting there is just so much fun, right? So that is something that was very, very beautiful. You realize that it is not all serious business. Spirituality also is not all serious business. We actually make it so
Oh.
serious here. I was actually thinking of also sharing about all of sir's workshop, because if somebody is new here and we are talking
Mm.
about, oh, you release your pain, you release your pain. I mean, Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi make the workshop so much fun that even the painful things become so light. You may cry 1 hour and the next hour you're just laughing. So it's really,
Yeah.
the masters are really bringing that essence here to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to share, in fact, one of the sessions that one person did with me. She went through a LBL session, and so she was actually going through a very troublesome phase here. And
Mm.
as she kind of started connecting, so we did a little bit of the therapy here, and then as she started connecting, it was so amazing that the masters there said that y'all create so much drama down there. You keep crying on the same thing, so you create the drama and we are having popcorn here. it's like, it's like how you human beings, you go to the movie theater and you can watch all the drama, we also watch you from here. Right? So the insight
Wow.
I really got was, you don't have to keep learning through pain, because really all
Mm.
of us take this jump where we realize that after you really see and face a lot of the stuff that we are carrying, we can also learn through a lot of fun and joy, right?
Wow.
So
So
that's
that means there is no hell.
there is no
Sorry,
that's
bad news.
bad news.
That's bad news for some.
Oh, so many of us have thought of hell and suffered so much. All that suffering is wasted now.
Yeah.
That's not what actually we are carrying in the mind, right?
Yes,
So when Ganesh said that why go to the past life, why dig out all of that? We dig it out so that we don't actually have to go and see, oh my
so
god.
true.
So I
Yeah.
think the work overall is so it is so much about this present moment. Although all these therapies seem to be going into the past, but really the work is about the present moment. It is not
Exactly, yes.
about marinating in the past. It's not about marinating in the past.
Hmm.
It is about, actually having a magical present moment and to enjoy the magic of the present moment. And, since you talked about transformation experiences, this is not just mental and emotional pieces. Here you had Preeti gave an example of a physical change with a neurological issue that got resolved. In my own
Hmm.
experience, uh, you know, it was very difficult for me to understand why I need to look at what happened in the childhood.
Hmm.
But I saw, my own experience was that during my work, during one of the workshops that I did, I actually relived certain memories, which were womb memories, and there was no way. I was such a logical person that I would not even believe the moment I would have some vision or some insight. I would say, no, no, I am imagining. And,
Hmm.
and therefore, so for a lot of us, it's very difficult. Dr. Preeti's language, I could never understand for 4 years because, she was talking a language which was beyond the comprehension of a normal human being like me, where she was talking about soul and we have to go there in that plane and that area. And, I said, which area? Which I only know bedroom, living room, kitchen, and my office. Only 4 areas I know. So the problem was that this language also is very scary sometimes for the normal human being like me. So when I came into this spiritual path, in that first 6 day workshop, I went into I was accessing womb memories from when I was in my mother's womb. And I was relaying stuff. My mother had a fracture and was in hospital. I was relaying information from that time. And, I could visualize myself in a certain way inside my mother's womb. I was very, because she was in pain, I was not moving, and I was not also absorbing too much nourishment because she was feeling unwell, a lot of medicine she was taking, and so on. When I actually accessed these memories, went beyond my logical mind, and Dr. Newton says something very powerful: trust the first image, first impression. It is not,
Hmm.
even if you are imagining, why out of 1 billion possibilities you are imagining this only, you could have imagined
Correct.
something else also. So then
Correct.
my logical mind said, yeah, even if I'm imagining, why was I not imagining something else? Why this only I imagined? So then I started
Hmm.
to access. I found out in my adult age at 38, 39 years of age, all my stiffness, I have a very stiff body I had, which is now much more flexible. But that came because of the stiffness when I was in the womb of my mother. I didn't want to move, and so that stiffness was there. If you see, I am not exactly, I don't have too many muscles, and I am quite stiff. So I realized that I had no interest in food. All through my childhood and adult life, I had no interest in food. I was not enjoying food. I used to finish eating food in 3 minutes. That was also traced back to womb memories, where I was not absorbing or receiving nutrition because, I thought my mother will puke or will feel unwell if I am going to take nutrition. So how the child is so egocentric and is so, the child feels, inner child workshop is all about that also. The child feels it's because of me that the parents are suffering, because of me somebody is unhappy. And therefore, when we go back, we re-access is so important that we have to access this. It's not about burying these memories in a graveyard and forgetting And oh, I am so happy. And this is spiritual bypass. I forgot that I had all this trauma
Oh,
in my life, etc. You asked about spiritual bypass.
yes.
Spiritual bypass is only meditating, only meditating, only meditating. Now, if you meditate and you access this, you relive and you relieve. And that is the power of the work at QLU. That is the power of the teachings of Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi. They are like an ocean which are involving all the rivers. Bert Hellinger's work in family constellation, Leonard Orr's work in rebirthing breath work,
That's true.
inner child work from John Bradshaw to so many other masters. All this
Mm,
is like all this assimilated, because to a normal human being this doesn't make sense. And
mm.
I felt earlier I was normal, my wife was not so normal, and then I figured that we are both normal. And then, so now Preeti does workshop, I am the assistant sitting next to her. She is sharing case studies from patients, I am sharing my own case study. So now we are full of case studies, because we have so many experiences, and just simple experiences, just uh, little things that change your life profoundly. So many times one little thing has a huge impact. It's like if one thorn enters your thing, it bothers you so much, but it's only a little thorn. And this
Mm,
work is about removing so many little thorns are here there. I realized that I was a wounded little child living in an adult body. And when I went back and accessed and met the little child, then the adult also got healed. So now, same situation, I would not be angry. Same situation, I would not be sad. That is why I am pursuing this work, and that is why we are all really, we should be pursuing this. Because today, COVID 19, all the stress, all the strain, all the negative energy, somewhere, if we access the root of this, go back to root cause, we give up the control that we are trying to have, certainty that we are trying to have. Where as a child or where in our past life we wanted to have certainty, control, the moment we identify those periods, those moments, we let go of, and then we can relax in this moment. Then we can suddenly enjoy this moment of silence with the birds chirping, because this moment is only as good as we want to make it. And so therefore all this work of going in the past, so I just wanted to share this with all of our friends. And Rajendra Gupta ji, thank you. We also wish to hug you back, and all our friends who are giving lovely comments. If there are any questions we can answer, we are happy to. Harika, I'm ready. We are ready for your next question.
Wow, so amazing. Both of you have shared such profound transformational experiences. It makes us feel, it makes me also feel like going back and attending once again. Though I have also repeated some of them.
I'd like to share one experience, Harika,
Yes, please.
from my second past life workshop. So, after the second past life workshop that I did, which was back in 2017, I saw a past life where my immediate family, there were a lot of us present in that life. So, when I kind of relived that life, which was a traumatic life, I mean, of course, after every past life, you transform. But this transformation after this past life, it was one of those key past lives that was there, where after I transformed in some way, there is a lot of transformational experiences that have happened in the family. So it is, and it's not so that that for first 7-8 months, I was actually in awe that actually is it happening? Does it really happen that something changes in you and then something changes so visibly outside also? So and then when I shared with Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, understanding the quantum principles, that how when the energy shifts for one person, When we talk about family constellation, that something shifting in you can shift in 7 generations ahead and before you.
Mm.
We understand that okay, it may
Yes.
happen, but something that we are not really seeing. We don't know how it will change for the coming generation. We are not seeing how it is changing for the generation behind you. But after doing this work, when I actually
Mm.
saw my immediate family, the dynamics, and so many changes happened, that was, I think, the most amazing and fulfilling experience of this work.
Yeah, that's such a powerful
Wow.
point, that this work, when we do for ourselves, it doesn't just help us, it helps everybody in our life. And some of the work helps 7 generations ahead and 7 generations behind also. Even, family constellation and transgenerational healing, there is a huge impact way ahead and way behind. So we have to really do this work, not just also for ourselves. Initially, yes, for ourselves, but then it has such a beautiful impact on
And
everything in our life.
and of course, I was not expecting. I mean, I had completely gone there because something was bothering me and I needed to deal with that. So completely just working on myself, but this was like a beautiful surprise that the existence really gives it to you. That
Mm.
was the most
That's
beautiful
amazing.
that
Yeah.
I received of this work.
And how much we struggle to change others all the time. Only if we knew, only if, even though people tell us, we are always in a war with others. No, you have to change, you have to change. But listening to your experience, it inspires us that yes, maybe it is true, because if she has experienced it, I can. It is so profound. So thank you so much for sharing this one.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's see what our friends are asking. Can these workshops be conducted online? So, as what Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi share, and also I believe is that these programs are more of energy. They need the presence of the facilitator, and in case, just let's say when we are doing this online and in the middle of the session there is a signal drop or something happens, it's going to be very dangerous. But when you are in the presence of that person, it can be life transforming. So we generally don't recommend that. So that's why we've not started any online programs of this kind of these are very intense, right? So what do you say, Dr. Preeti and Ganesh?
No, absolutely. This is a very, very, it's so important. The presence of the facilitator is very, very important, particularly if you are in early stages of your practice and you are new to the work. Once you have done some of this work and it is still possible to do it remotely and with some guidance, but when you are doing it, if I were to say the first time when I was in a workshop, if it were to be online, it could have some very strong repercussions also, because you need the
Right.
presence of the facilitator. And so the world will come back, and we will have a chance to evolve and move.
Yes, and we will be able to do one-on-one sessions and do these training programs together at QLU again. Yes.
So I see,
So,
Arika, another question. Anuradha ji has asked a little bit about family constellation. Uh,
yes, yes.
so, that modality is, I can share some personal experiences also, but I think just to give you a broad uh, expression, uh, we are all actually connected in a very profound way. Energetically, we are connected, uh, and there are a lot of systems that exist. From the planetary system to the respiratory system, to organizations have their own systems. Sanghas and communities, spiritual communities have their own systems. Similarly, every family has its own system, and there are certain rules that govern that system. There are certain guidelines, and if you see a flock of birds flying, ever, Anuradha ji, you will see they never crash into each other. That's a constellation also. It's a constellation in that they're energetically aware whether to turn right, left. Some birds will be taking the lead sometimes, some will go behind so that the wind draft doesn't come in their face. So, like that, the families also, there is a very fine balance in family systems. And this exists from generations. Transgenerationally, there are certain things that are passed down. So, family constellation work is really about, it is about throwing light on the hidden dynamics in a family system. What is really hidden, which is not visible to the naked eye, which is not evident to us. Family constellation is a method where we set up the system and we get some insights into the dynamics, hidden dynamics in a family. And whenever there are certain conflicts in a family, whenever there are certain strong issues, health issues, we find that there are patterns that we are carrying for a very long time. So when we throw light on some hidden dynamics, we can overcome these patterns. These patterns could be relationship patterns, these patterns could be health patterns. So we can overcome these patterns and we can find healing and resolution just by seeing it. So this work is very, very profound. It was Dr. Newton has shared extensively about Bert Hellinger. It was his he was the pioneer of constellation work, and he did some amazing work. So you can actually have impact. That was the modality I was referring to, where you can have an impact 7 generations behind and 7 generations ahead. So that is something that we can do.
Anuradha ji, just to add to what Ganesh mentioned, so the basic understanding is that of course we are an individual and we are also a part of the whole. So the family that we are born into, it has its own energy, and we don't even know, but we may be carrying certain patterns which we are not aware of. In the family system, there is love that is flowing. So every parent loves their child. So through generations, actually, we receive love and blessings. But because there is also a lot of stuff that has happened, there are wounds that are there. There are people who are excluded, which we may not know. That has an impact on the family system. So just as, and also every child is actually loyal to their parents. When we say that there is love flowing in the system, when we have seen our parents in pain, unconsciously we sabotage our own happiness as well. We are loyal to them because how can we be more happier than what they were? How can we be richer than what they were? So this loyalty does not really serve anybody, this kind of a blind love. So when we throw light, as Ganesh said, we then consciously choose enlightened love and not blind love. And that is what really brings resolution into our lives.
So in blind love, I will die for you. In enlightened love, in your honor, I will live well. And that's the big difference, is that we are not limited by what our parents did. In their honor, we can be different from them. We don't have to do exactly the same thing out of blind loyalty. So that is a little piece. Looks like we are frozen.
Harika?
Beautiful. Harika, are you still here? Okay, looks like Harika is dropped out, but we will see if there are any other questions.
I'm
Since we
actively
might,
working on myself so that I don't affect my young children falling scarring. I
yeah.
don't want them to have the blocks I have. I'm interested in the spiritual parenting. Is there
Yeah.
something for couples? Yes, absolutely. So I think in the inner child healing, if you have already attended with Dr. Newton, a lot of the wisdom about the spiritual parenting is already shared. And so we need to really apply all of this. The spiritual parenting would have, of course, a lot of the awareness, as we know that a lot of the blocks, a lot of the mistakes that we make unconsciously are not out of lack of love but out of lack of awareness. So when we work on our inner child, when we connect with our child within, we can really connect with the child outside also. That really helps. The family constellation work helps, and we really take this journey of parenting more like, more in a fun way. Our child is really our spiritual teacher also. So beautiful. If as a couple you can take on, definitely that's a beautiful journey. So if you can take on both the inner child and the family constellation, and
It's a very powerful piece. Also, watching Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi
yes,
is a great lesson in togetherness, in balancing the masculine and the feminine. And it is very, very, it's a very beautiful experience, because we have heard so much about, there has been so much negativity around couple relationships. There are all kinds of funny jokes that are made about people getting married, and uh, and so on and so forth. But really, we need great models in terms of couples, and Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi are a beautiful model on how each one of us can kind of learn and you know uh, be together. So that's something that I'd share. I can see some questions coming here. Uh, um,
hi Harika.
Yeah, I was away. The internet problem. Sorry.
Oh, we understood.
I'm not sure, were we still live when you were not here, or we were not live?
No, you were live.
Oh, wonderful. We were only interviewing ourselves. Wonderful. I was trying to ask myself a question, but I was not able to. So I was trying to look for questions in the chat box. Uh, I think now that you're
So,
back,
so Ganesh was mentioning, and I think that's one of the beautiful gifts that Harika would agree all of us have received. With Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi, we've really got this picture of a sacred wedding, a sacred couple.
Wow.
How you
yeah,
really respect and love each other and really, be in the marriage. So that has, that's not a workshop yet that they are doing, but that just the way that they are with each other has really impacted a lot of our, us as couples. Our lives have become much
yeah.
richer. Our relationships have become much more fulfilling.
Wow, yes. Every word that you both said today, it's so true. Initially, when Ganeshji said their presence itself, it has a lot of impact on us. That is so true. The way you mentioned Dr. Preeti, that is actually what brought faith in marriage back for many people, including me
Absolutely.
and Pawan, of course.
Absolutely.
Ah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Thank you for
And
sharing.
to
So,
have that model is so important. Like
yes,
Ganesh was mentioning when you were not here, that we've all
hmm,
had, heard these jokes about marriage. के,
yes.
शादी को लड्डू है जो खाए वो भी पछता है और ना खाए वो भी पछता है.
Yeah.
So it,
Ah,
and when
Bakra kat raha hai. Like it's like you are now going to be your
so life is ending for you,
your life is
freedom is
ending.
gone.
Now celebrate. This is the
yes.
last month. After this you have no freedom. All kind
Mm,
of, and in this funny way, these misconceptions about marriage have actually infiltrated the unconscious of the society in a lot of people. So we need a model which is very, very important. And I think Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi do a great job in providing that model. Uh,
Yeah.
your, I don't know if we are now to meditate. I think we are almost
Yes.
of
So
it.
shall we meditate for some time? All of us friends, all of our viewers love to meditate with the Sangha, with all of us. So we will just have simple Anapanasati guided meditation. I will not guide much though, but I will just tell the basics of how to do this in case there are any new joiners. Friends, let's just close our eyes, sit in a very comfortable posture first of all, relax your body, cross your feet, and clasp your fingers like this. Now close your eyes, remove your spectacles if anything. Just be with your normal, natural breathing. Let your breath simply flow. The silence. Let all these insights that we have heard of sink in to every cell of our being. Do not let the mind wander. Just bring your attention back to your breath. Breath is your guru. It will take you in the right direction. Allow yourself to go deeper with your breath. Journey inward. Allow your breath to guide you. Being with the breath, being with the life force. An amazing experience to dwell with the breath. Let all these insights be yours. Let all these experiences be yours. Let all the healing happen to you. Your breath knows what to do. Trust your breath. Allow your breath to guide you. Simply be with your breath. last 5 minutes, let us simply be with our breath. Experience the simplicity and the profoundness of this present moment. This breath, inhale, each exhale, so profound. Each breath can be transformation. Let go all the past baggages. Let go all the future worries. This moment, healing is possible only in the now, only with this present moment, with this breath. Each and every breath. 3 more minutes. Let us simply be here and now, in the present. Power is in the present moment, it is not in the past, not in the future. It's this moment, not somewhere else, right here. And in this moment, we are with our breath, the most powerful life force in the last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whenever you're ready, place your palms on your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Beautiful. Thank
Beautiful.
you so much, Ganeshji and Dr. Preeti. So, before we close the session, I would like to share about this beautiful program called Soul Coach Training Program. And it's an amazing program, free residential training program for 20 days. They provide all the food, accommodation, and everything over here at the beautiful QLU campus, Quantum Life University, Vikarabad. All are welcome to join this program. Everyone and all over the world, people have joined. Last batch this year, we have had 50 participants, almost 45 to 50 participants from Vietnam and three more countries. So everyone, whoever has attended this program, have shared amazing, profound, transformational healing experiences. This is the basic program, after which you will be able to go in depths. All the training programs that we have just spoken about are like specializations. And whoever resonates with this, please register for this program. We would love to see you here at Quantum Life University. The registrations are open. You can contact us on the numbers given below in the scrolling. I would like to ask Ganeshji and Preeti to share a little bit about this program. Just whatever you have known about this, you can just invite all our friends.
Yes.
I think apart from the beautiful wisdom that Quantum Life Foundation brings, the Nishkam Karma Yoga, that element that is there, I have heard such amazing stories of transformation that have happened. I think, and a lot of it has happened because of that. We really come
Yes,
out of our comfort zones and we really kind of be in nature and do the Nishkam Karma, which we are not really so used to doing in our own spaces, and that automatically brings up so much transformation. So beautiful
that is
program.
true.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. really
Thank
touching that
you, Dr.
whole
Preeti,
theme.
for bringing this up. Yes, it's so true. The Nishkama Seva that we have done in Solkosh program is so profound. That part itself has brought a lot of healing in so many people. Many of them have reported that through Nishkama Seva, they have been able to really experience healing, physical healing, and healing with their parents and everywhere, everything. It's beautiful, amazing. We have these beautiful vanas planted with love by Dr. Lakshmi, and all of those vanas, those gardens, are so healing. They are also designed in such a way that the shape of each vana itself is so sacred. Once you enter the vana and you serve over there to Mother Earth, it's like Mother Earth is coming out to speak to you. It's a beautiful opportunity to serve Mother Earth. And we have cows over here, those 22 cows that we have, and we are also soon about to build the 21-acre Goshala, which is
Wow.
called the Go Loka. It's a dream
Wow.
of Dr. Lakshmi. So, yeah, it is amazing. So, I request all of you friends to just contact us and register immediately for the Soul Coach training program. It's amazing. We have free accommodation in Moksha Dham or any other, if you want paid accommodation, anything special like a room, we have that available in Nirvana rooms. We also have a smaller dormitory called Kaivalya. These are amazing places. You will love it. Wherever you stay, you will just love that experience. So just contact us and register for it. We look forward to seeing you. So every year we have this program twice, once in Telugu and once in English. And we have the registrations open for next year, January. So please come forward. We look forward to seeing you. And one final message for this episode from both of you, please, to the viewers. Anything, any message that you would like to share?
I would just say that one must experience QLU, one must experience the energies there. So, everybody who hasn't, it's a must go place.
Yeah, I
Thank
would.
you. Mhm.
Yeah, I know that this is a very challenging time for a lot of friends with the current pandemic and coronavirus. Um, I'm reminded of what we decided in my organization as our approach that we will take. What are the choices we make every day? I think are very important. So we have chosen grace over fear and hope
Wow.
over despair. So I my only message would be let us choose grace over fear and hope over despair, because really there is a much bigger divine plan in the making. Earth and many the planet is being transformed as we sit here together, and so we just become part of this transformation rather than resist this transformation. And so that was my message. Thank you for having us, Harika.
Wow.
Thank you for giving us the chance.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
Ganeshji. Thank you, Dr. Preeti. Thanks a ton. It is an amazing experience listening to all of your profound transformational experiences. And we will have another episode tomorrow in Telugu, day after tomorrow again in English. Thanks to Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, and QLU once again for giving us this opportunity.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
We'll see
all
you
Thank
the
you,
all
friends.
dear
again.
friends.
Lovely.
A
We
big
can see
hug to,
many of our wonderful friends here.
yes, thank
And I
you.
just want to, if they are still there, Anil ji, Indu ji, Rajbinder, Swati, Sujata ji, Shubha, Satish, Shobha Mahesh, thank you.
Thank you.
Vamsi Krishna, Meena ji, Vijay Lakshmi Goyal, wonderful. Vijay is here also. Manju Jain ji, Priya, Venkataramaya, wonderful. Ankur, Manju Jain ji is here also. Suman, thank you for your question. Kiran, you are here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. Truth matters. Yes, truth definitely matters. Welcome from Barbados. Giri, thank you for being here also. Rajendra Gupta ji, thank you. Ashish, wonderful friends. So many friends. Dr.
Yeah.
Bhuma Vashi and Nikhil Vashi, thank you for being here also. Goody Venuka, thank you. Anuradha ji, thank you for your questions also. Wonderful, wonderful. I
All
think
the beautiful friends.
all the lovely
Sanghamitrayas,
friends.
thank you so
Uddhav
much.
ji, thank you for being here. Wonderful, wonderful. Bhagwati ji, thank you. Swati ji, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Pleasure. Thanks,
Okay.
Bye
Harika.
bye. Thank
Bye.
you so much,
Thank
Harika.
you. Thank
Bye.
you both. Thank you.